Is there a perfect angle for a mortising chisel? Let's find out. Mortising chisels, what's the correct angle to grind and sharpen to? Well, that really all depends on what you are going to be working on, the surface, the wood that you're using. Recently, I got some Norex, a new one, and I was working on some very, very, very hard yellow pine. And out of the box, they advertise that this has got a bevel of 25 degrees, which is, what they advertise. And when it comes out, that's a little too sharp for harder woods. The pine that I was working with was extremely hard, and I'll show some photos of what happened after just trying to, do some mortising with it where it actually chipped out the end. Now, what is the correct angle for a mortising chisel? Well, it all depends on what type of wood you're trying to use it on. So if you're using on very sharp wood, this advertised 25 degrees, which after measuring is actually closer to 22, 23, works just fine. But once you get into, say, yellow pine and oak, that's a much harder wood. And then, of course, if you're working with harder woods than that, it's going to be too sharp of an angle. You don't have enough supporting the back edge of the blade to maintain this angle without chipping. Chisels are hardened, and the harder you make something, the more brittle it becomes. The more brittle it is, the more susceptible it is to chipping. Just like with knives. So if you think about a fillet knife for fish, fish is a very, very soft protein, and you're going to have a very, very wispy thin. Think about a sushi knife. It's going to be like a razor. If you're working in the butcher shop and your proteins are meat or chicken, beef or chicken, and you need to not only chop through meat or chop through bone, you're going to use a cleaver, and a cleaver is a much more obtuse angle. It's going to actually be possibly a convex angle on it. It's going to actually, so that they can get some more meat behind that blade. The same thing with an axe that we use for chopping, or a hatchet. You don't have two bevels that just directly meet. When you sharpen an axe, you're actually going to put a convex angle on that too, and more round that over. This, for example, is a timber framing, an antique timber framing chisel that I bought from a gentleman who was a timber framer. And I have not sharpened this, but if we go to check the angle on this, we're closer to 45 degrees than we are to, say, where mortising chisels, basically they're telling us that for a mortising chisel, we want to be roughly in like the 40 degree for a mortising chisel. And that's based on this scale. A lot of different scales have a lot of different things, but they're only a starting point. So how do we determine what we need to sharpen our chisels to for the types of wood we're using when it comes to mortising chisels? Well, like I had said, this one was a little too sharp. So, and it was this one actually that I was using, and I chipped it, and I'll show you some photographs of it. And I just hand sharpened it out on the table when I did it. And basically what I ended up doing was putting a convex bevel on the end, or you could say 2 micro bevels on the end. So basically I took this angle here, which I do like, but because of the wood that I was using was far too tough for it, I needed something that was more obtuse. So I sharpened it, kept it here, then I moved it to about here, and then once again to here, and then got that angle, which was still very sharp edge. And then I was able to finish the project that I was working on. So basically what you need to do is sharpen to the angle that works for the materials you're working with. So you don't really know without a little trial and error. So my suggestion is just sharpen your chisels. Your chisel, start to work on some scrap wood or on the mortise that you're working on. And if you do find that you're having deformation or bending or chipping, you're going to need to make that angle more obtuse. If you're working with extremely soft woods, this should work well. And if you find that you're getting tear out, you're going to actually want to make a greater angle. And the nice thing about the Norex, it is such a shallow angle, with it being at the roughly between 22 and 20. So it's roughly, I got it here, like 21 or 21 and a half right from the factory, at least these two sets that I have. So let's see if you can see that. But this angle here is at 21 and a half to 22. So what we're going to do is take that 21.5 to 22, and we're going to put a little bit of an extra angle on it. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go ahead and set this one up, because I will be using this smaller 8mm on the same project. So I'm going to show you how you would do that. So we're going to use a jig, and we're going to use a diamond stone, and we only need to use the fine diamond stone. So this one here is the 1200 grit. Yes, the 1200 grit. So I'm using a jig that's set up for projection, and this does say that it is 25 degrees. So when I go to set this chisel up for this, I'm going to go ahead and set this, because I'm not worried about the current primary bevel. I'm okay with that. So it says that it's 20 whatever, but it's 22, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put, so to adjust this bevel, let's just go with the saying that it's advertised at 25. Now, if you want to do it by hand, you can freehand it, but it's a lot easier if you're just getting started to go ahead and use a jig so that you can get these a little more correct. So I'm going to take this closer to a 30. So my secondary bevel, I'm going to go ahead and draw this down about 3 degrees based on this chart. So I'm retracting it in this. I'm going to go ahead and get that squared up, and I'm going to tighten it down. And I'm going to take a look at it and see where we are on this. So this is going to keep it nice and square. So all we're going to do is take this and look at it from the side to see where this wheel comes. And we can see that we have a minor raise, let's see if you can see that on there, between the back of the bevel and where the tip makes contact. So I'd say we've got roughly, when that seats down, about 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters. So we're going to go ahead and use this to create a secondary bevel on here. And we don't need to do this very large, so we're just going to go ahead I'm using the jig, and I'm keeping even pressure. I'm going to take a look at it, and I'm going to see. So it looks like I'm putting a little heavier pressure on the right side, so I'm going to put a little heavier pressure on the left. Without skewing it. So it's evening up a bit. I want to check that I've got this in here. Tight and square in the jig. Okay, so now we're pretty much straight across there, and we can check that to make sure that we are still square. Well, I'll have to take it out. I'm not going to take it out to use that square. So we can see visually we're square across here. So now what I want to do is I want to adjust this one more time, and I'm going to pull it back another, say, 2 degrees, and we're going to take it down to the 30. So we'll loosen that, get our jig lined up again. We went from the 25 and we dropped about 2 degrees, and we'll drop probably another 2 degrees. I'm probably not going to go all the way to 30 because I'm just trying to get another bevel on here. So keep that nice and tight when you go to tighten this up so it stays square. So there's our secondary bevel, and we're going to do a tertiary bevel. So that's going to be the next step. Father, if you like the content, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you can follow with the other types of things that we do. I would usually put affiliate links down in the bottom. So if you want to go to the description, you'll be able to find those affiliate links. And if you purchase with those links, I get a small commission, but it doesn't cost you anything else. It helps to support the channel and create more videos. Thanks so much. All right, and that looks fairly square across there. So now we have made this a little more obtuse. And that's what we're looking for. And that should match roughly what I found to be a good angle. On the other one. So now I have two micro bevels that make this a little more curvature. Now if I feel the back, I've got a burr. So all I'm going to do is lay this flat. And I'm just going to draw that back this way. And what I want to make sure is I keep that totally flat because all I'm trying to do is remove that burr. And then we're going to put it on our strop. And we're just going to take this and strop backwards away from the cutting edge. And I'm rocking it as I do it. This is already loaded with compound. And I'll do the same with compound on the back. And I want to keep this totally flat. I do not want to raise this at all because I want to keep that back square because that's what helps guide us when we're chopping a mortise. Okay, now we're going to flip this over. And we're going to do the same thing on the grain side of the leather. You can hear the change in sound as I roll it up. When you start to hear it, like to make some more noise, you want to stop. Because that means you're coming to the edge and you don't want to roll the edge. All right, so we've taken this and we've made this more obtuse and we've made it very sharp. And this should be a much more durable edge since we've made this more obtuse and we've given this curve at the end. We have more meat underneath the cutting edge. So what it basically comes down to is you need to try the mortise chisel, see what that angle is working for you. If you find that you're getting deformation, you're going to want to put a more steep, or not a steep, but a shallower angle on it. So we're going to be working, you know, backwards up the scales. So we're going to be going in this direction, and we can do that with just the tip. If we find that we're tearing out and it's not cutting well, we don't have enough sharpness. So I would then strop and see if that fixes the issue. If it doesn't, then you may need to grind a much steeper or a much shallower angle, like going towards the 20 degrees. I know that I've seen the, was it Cosman actually grind some chisels for softwood down to 17, 15 degrees. So that sums it up. There is no perfect angle. It has to do with the mortising chisel that you're working with. And then you just need to adapt that to the hardness or the types of materials you're working with. So I hope that was helpful. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you like this content. And see you next time. Thanks.